Well, here is a sign that the end of summer is near. NFL games have started. We've got a live look tonight at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where the defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers are playing the Dallas Cowboys as we speak. It is the first game of the season that is welcoming fans back inside the stadium. All weekend long, you're going to be seeing more fans attend more games, and they're pretty pumped about it. But you may also notice something interesting watching the broadcast from home. NFL-sanctioned advertisements for sports gambling. People in 26 states can now wager on NFL games legally. Paul Gerke is joining us from the home of the Jets and Giants tonight, MetLife Stadium. Paul, a lot of fans very excited about this moment.
And why wouldn't they be? I mean, I can place a bet right now on my cell phone as long as I'm in New Jersey, not in New York. That won't be legal until next year, but we'll get to that in just a second. It's pretty crazy how fast sports gambling has gone from this hush-hush topic to something you can literally do right here on your phone without having to visit a sketchy website or calling your dad's bookie. It's been 3 years since the Supreme Court paved the way for this to happen for states, and people just can't seem to get enough of it. 3 more states, in fact, legalized it today. I'm looking at you, Arizona, South Dakota, and Washington, just in time for the NFL's first kickoff of the season. And by the Super Bowl in February, it will be legal in 5 more states. Sports betting is coming to the mainstream, whether you're ready for it or not. Money talks, and the NFL is listening. The last of the 4 major American sports leagues to cozy up to sports betting has struck a deal with 7 companies to advertise during games this season. And people across the country are lining up to place their bets in broad daylight.
I think there's a bit of a myth that Americans haven't embraced sports betting for a long time. They just haven't had access to do that legally under the regulated environment. There's over 100 million American adults can now bet legally in their home state. And that provides a lot of consumer protection. It provides a lot of insight into the activity, and it provides a lot of additional protection for the integrity of the game. Casey Clark is the senior vice president of the American Gaming Association. COVID decimated his industry after a record-setting 2019, but he's optimistic football and a full slate of fall sports will put everything back on track. You know, our research suggests that over 45 million Americans plan to bet on the NFL this year in one way or another. Gaming revenues across the board from sports and traditional casino games are up 17% in July over a record year in 2019. And so the rebound that we've had from a really catastrophic year for our industry in 2020 is significant. States have raked in more than $25 billion in revenue so far this year. It's likely we'll break the yearly record of $44 billion. And that might just be the start of what lies ahead. Just look at other countries with legalized sports gambling. You know, there's been a legal sports betting market in the United Kingdom longer than there's been a Premier League. And so we're just getting warmed up in this country.
So what are the keys to this boom in gambling? I think there are 2, really. One is that they're actually playing games, which wasn't the case during COVID. And the second is the rise of mobile gaming. Being able to live bet games as they're happening on your television, whether you're at the bar or at home with friends, really is just a game changer. You can do that in 17 different states right now, 4 more by the time the Super Bowl arrives, including in New York City, where I live, so I don't have to come across the water to place a bet on the Thursday night game.
A lot of money to be made here, Paul, but not everybody's comfortable with sports betting, as you know. So what about people with gambling addictions or people who think that this is a real slippery slope?
You actually touched on a hot button issue, that this is gambling, right? This isn't something recreational. I actually asked my interview subject, Casey, about that today, and he said you have to think about this as adult entertainment. And anybody trying to make money or entering it with a different mindset is really approaching it from the wrong angle. It's sort of the AGA's responsibility to make sure that people are gambling responsibly, though. They're working with their partners as well as with the leagues themselves as this becomes more and more mainstream. But ultimately, it's up to us, the consumers.
Entertainment. All right, Paul, thank you. Ben Fox is the VP of Content at VSiN, a 24-hour broadcast network dedicated exclusively to sports betting. Ben, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great report.
So why does betting a few dollars on a game make it more interesting for fans?
So I think we've really seen this, and Paul touched on it. You know, sports betting has been around for a long time. It was just kind of done in the shadows. And this is what Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, had come out and said in 2014. We want to legalize it. We want to bring it out of the shadows. People have been doing it for a while. And again, having a couple bucks on the game, it's just more entertaining. You feel like you have skin in the game. And again, I think as we've seen these sports betting leagues come to realize, then in the fourth quarter of a blowout game, there's always a reason to watch a game, which in the past there wasn't necessarily if you were just strictly as watching the game as a fan.
Paul touched on this. Is the NFL and the U.S., for that matter, behind the curve when it comes to gambling on these games? I mean, Europe's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, so it's definitely a more nascent market than European operators. I think the U.S. operators that have started over here in DraftKings and FanDuel have seen what kind of works, what doesn't work over in Europe. And the NFL for a while was kind of giving the stiff arm to sports betting operators. Now they've embraced it, obviously, as Paul had said, with 3 operators officially and 7 connected to the league. I think the important thing as well is they know that they want to limit it in certain ways, only 6 commercials throughout games. And again, for the consumers who are interested, but every single consumer of the NFL isn't necessarily going to be a sports bettor.
Well, and we're all adults here, hopefully, participating in this. So we do it for entertainment. But where should fans draw the line between entertainment and something that goes too far?
Yeah, so I think basically at VSiN, that is essentially our mission, is to make sports bettors smarter. This is very difficult. The professional bettors, there are not a lot of people who make their living wagering on sports, under 1,000 people really in the country, probably under 500. And they're winning at 53%, 54%, 55% is an amazing year. In order to basically make money with the standard VIG, you have to win over 52.3% of your games, which is very difficult to do. So basically, take a couple dollars aside, maybe listen to some VSiN content, read some content, try and become a smarter bettor, and put aside some money that you can lose. And again, the more you do it, the more you're integrated into it, you'll start to pick up some strategies. But this is definitely not a put down the mortgage payment on a certain team. It's not going to work out well for you.
Good advice. And we know, as you know well, Ben, that the NFL would not do anything that wasn't lucrative to them. So we know in the end there are more winners here than just the people at home watching. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.